What up, guys? It's Avery back here with another video on Honest Judgment, and this time we're gonna be doing a drunk review again. And I have Windows here, so we actually decided on doing Shaun of the Dead because I put a Facebook poll, and then somebody gave me these answers, which I'll post right here, and it was saying I either gave them an option of doing a horror or a comedy or a shitty movie, and then everybody
People
was
did all three.
yeah, they're like, let's just do all three, and then if you don't do all three in one video, then I'm just gonna dislike. And I'm just like, yo, man, that's hard.
I'm gonna be here all
Because
day.
we're gonna be drunk doing this, and but yeah, so we just decided Shaun of the Dead because it's a comedy, it's a horror kinda, and then it's not a shitty movie, but you know some people don't like it that I've heard of, but you know so this is the best, and I felt like I haven't seen it in a long time, so I decided, you know, why not? So we are gonna be drinking Pabst, and then Wesley picked us up. It's Kirin Ichiban, the 100% malt, so it's probably gonna taste like Mickey's. Not sure. We're not sponsored. Wish so. Pabst, Kirin, dude, if you want to sponsor, go ahead. So yeah, like I said, we're just gonna be pounding these until we're drunk, and then let's just get started. So beer number one.
You ready to go to Pound Town?
Let's go. Cheers. Shit. Alright, so we finished just watching, Shaun of the Dead. And as you could tell, we're pretty fucking lit, dog. So, what the movie basically consists of, it's the main characters, Shaun, Ed, Liz, and Dave, and then Shaun's mom. And they're pretty much just trying to survive. I don't know, it's a day, right? It's pretty much a day.
Yeah, it's one day.
Yeah, it's one day, and they're pretty much just trying to survive and blah blah blah. So throughout the whole movie, Shaun and his group do meet up with another group of what are they called? I don't remember.
What are we calling survivors?
I don't know. He has one specific friend. I forgot what her name is. And when they meet each other, they're like, "Oh, how you doing? How's your are you still with your girlfriend?" And he's like, "Yeah, we're surviving and blah blah."
Yeah, but I think that's like the day before.
Yeah, but they meet up throughout the whole movie. They meet out throughout the whole movie. So, Shaun, basically the plot of the movie is Shaun is in love with this girl Liz, and he's kind of not really the type of boyfriend to be dependent on. He's breaking promises. He's not really organized in what he's doing and stuff. So he's pretty much just kind of not a good boyfriend, but even though you could tell that he's trying to change and stuff like that. So you find out that throughout the whole movie that his best friend name is Ed, and then they're always together and stuff like that, and they're always together, and he's all like, "Oh, I will never get rid of Ed," because
they knew each other since elementary school.
Yeah, elementary school. And then so then the zombie outbreak happens, and you start noticing that he still has his daily routine, but at the same time everything around him has changed. He still has his daily routine where he leaves his house, he goes to his local 7-Eleven type of thing, picks up his groceries, and then he's so close that he's able to say "Oh, I owe you 15p," which is probably a few cents here. And he's like, "Oh, I owe you this much money, and I got you next time." But even though around him he starts seeing blood stained hands on the vending machines or stuff like that, and he slips on blood in one scene. But this movie is so great because it does a comedic take on of Dawn of the Dead by George A. Romero, and it also does a kind of horror highlights. It does homages too. So there's this one scene in the movie, if you haven't seen it, spoiler alert, but they do an homage to I think it's Dawn of the Dead, right? I think it's Dawn of the Dead, where the guy says choke on it where he's like getting ripped apart, where it's like the one where it's like the zombies are attacking him and it's like he's just getting ripped apart.
That's Day of the Dead.
Yeah, Day of the Dead. And then you know, in Shaun of the Dead, you see one of the characters, Dave, go through this where he's like getting ripped apart. So I feel like that's an homage to the movie Day of the Dead, and I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But yeah, this movie is great. It's really it's comedic and it has its funny, you know, one-liners. It has its funny. It's pretty much a funny movie all around, but you could see that they try to do like a horror, like, you know, dark, like atmosphere to it, where it's like they try to like make like it be the cliche jump scares and like cliche like music tones where like, you know, somebody like zombie would show up, they'd be like, oh, they'd play a sound, they'd be like, oh my god, that's scary, but you know, in reality it's like, oh, that's a cliche that you would see in a movie. But ultimately what this movie's about, it's about Shaun, and he's protecting his friends and his girlfriend Liz, well, ex girlfriend, and he takes his friend Ed, you know, Liz and Diane and Dave, and he pretty much becomes like a squad leader, protecting them all from the zombie apocalypse, and tries to save them all. But eventually, spoiler again, if you haven't seen the movie, he pretty much ends up only saving himself and his ex girlfriend Liz, because
Everyone else died.
yeah, everyone else pretty much dies. So I mean, it's funny, but it's sad, and it's like, but mostly comedy. I mean, like the way Dave dies, like I said, like, yeah, like I said, he dies because the zombies just tear him apart. Diane dies, which is Dave's girlfriend. She dies how, like, when she sees Dave get ripped apart.
They're not really together, dude.
No, they're boyfriend and girlfriend. Yeah.
They're just roommates.
No, they're boyfriend girlfriend. He remember? That's what she says.
They became friends in college because Dave wanted Liz.
Yeah,
but
but
other than that,
they're a couple.
They wanted Diane wanted to be a couple with him, but no. Anyways,
I don't know. Either they're a couple or not, but they're together somewhat. I don't know. I still think they're a couple. I don't know. But anyways, when Dave gets ripped apart, she goes out with like one of his legs, because they like totally like exaggerate it, where like his legs come off and his arms come off, and so yeah, Diane has one of his legs and is like, oh, I'll teach you how to, like, you know, I'm coming for you, Dave, and she starts beating up the zombies with his legs, and then you never see her again. So she's fighting like a wave of zombies, so pretty much you assume she's dead. And then so that's Dave and Diane dying. And the way Ed dies, and well, let's start with her mom. So her mom dies where when they're traveling from, you know, Liz's house, because Shaun and Ed go to Liz's house with his mom to rescue Liz and her friends, and then he's like, yo, we'll take you back to the Winchester, you know, which is a pub, and then he's like, we'll go there and then everything will be safe, I'll take care of you, and blah blah. So pretty much on the way there, Shaun's mom gets bitten, and she keeps it hidden until they get to the Winchester. And then later on, Liz finds out, like, oh snap, like his mom is bitten, but she kept it hidden, and she's like, oh, take my jewelry, I want you to have it because I want you to know, like, you know, how much Shaun meant to me, and like how much you mean to Shaun, and blah blah blah. So you know, she gives her jewelry. Shaun's mom turns into a zombie. Liz takes the thing, and then she starts realizing, oh snaps, he really loves me. But then that's how her mom dies, is that she eventually turns because she got bitten from like a past neighbor that they were crossing from, like, you know, from Liz's house to the Winchester. So that's how she dies. And then Ed, he pretty much like kind of saves them. So when they're in the Winchester, it's like a bar, and they have everything barricaded and stuff. But then the zombies like horde gets too much that they eventually just start to break in to the bar. Then that's how David dies, and that's how Diane dies. And then later on, they start getting swarmed. That Liz and Ed and Shaun are just like, "Yo, what the hell's going on?" So Shaun starts shooting from this Winchester, which is actually the name of the bar. It's called the Winchester, and then there's an actual Winchester on top of like the bar, and so they take it and they start shooting all these zombies. But then like they start becoming overwhelmed that they go behind the bar, like where the bartender would stand, and then they start shooting everything. And then Ed's is like, he pretty much sacrifices himself and says like, you know, you guys go on ahead, you guys save yourselves, like, you know, I'll be the bait. So they go behind the counter, and then, you know, they're trying
They go
to
in the cellar.
yeah, they go in the cellar and they start figuring out like, what do we do now? And then like Sean's calling out for Ed, and then Ed comes out, like, because it's a comedy, he comes out and he's like, what do you want? And he's all bitten and stuff. He's like, we need to go to the cellar. So eventually they go to the cellar. You know, Shaun, Ed, and Liz, they all go to the cellar, which is like, you know, the bottom of the bar. And then Ed's all bitten up, and he's like, you know what, you guys save yourselves. I'll pretty much, you know, stay here with the gun, and then you know, you guys save yourselves. And then throughout the end of the movie, you start seeing, you know, like the girl that Shaun knew that says like, you know, like, how you doing, like, how's Liz, like, I'm surviving. I forgot her name, but you see them like reunite again, because you see like the military come, and then her squad come, and then like shoot all the zombies and pretty much rescue Shaun and Liz from the bunker. And she's like, oh, like, how you doing, you guys doing good, like, you know, blah blah blah. Of course they're gonna be like, oh, you know, we're surviving. And then you know, so Ed pretty much just stays in the cellar, and then while Shaun and Liz, they, you know, pretty much get rescued by, I forgot the other girl's name, and the military, and they kill all the zombies. But later on in the movie, you find out that Ed, he's still a part of Shaun's life. He stays in the tool shed in his backyard, but he's still a zombie. But he
He's all chained up.
yeah, he's all chained up, and then Shaun's like, you know, here's like a video game controller, you could play the video game. And then, you know, Ed tries to bite him. He's like, you know what, you need to knock it off, like, just play the game. And then, so it's a pretty happy ending, but it's like sad at the same time, because it's like you see his friend as a zombie, and it's like, ultimately this movie is a horror movie, but it's also very much comedy. I mean, like, it has one-liners, it has funny like instances that you would see, and it has a really great soundtrack. I mean, for a movie to start up with the specials and then I Monster and then like stuff like that, and then reference like who does bass? Oh, I forgot the song White Lines, the song about cocaine. That song's in there. It's a great scene. I mean, this movie's about zombies, but it's a pretty comical movie about zombies. And definitely give it a recommendation. So, yeah. If you guys are into these type of drunk reviews, and I know they're really bad. I mean, like, I can't really explain it, but once you're drinking a few, man, you can't really, I mean, like, you can't really function. So, yeah, if you liked it, then I'll see you guys in the next video.